Hey, Jim Roman here, and welcome to another episode of the Jim Roman Show, where we help you build a better business to build a better life. Want to welcome you. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about strategic planning and why you should start now for next year. Want to welcome you to another episode. If this is your first time here, welcome to our show, where I talk about a particular topic and teach and train on for about 20 minutes. And then at the end of the episode, I finish up. And then if there's any questions and answers, I can share that with you or answer to those questions. As always, if you're watching this live, please feel free to comment below, as well as if you're watching this recording, also comment because I check the comments regularly. If you find value out of today, please like, share, and follow for more information like that. And please share this with people that you know that would benefit from the topics that we cover on a regular, consistent basis. So let's jump into today's episode. So today we're going to be talking about how to develop a strategic plan. In fact, for the entire month of December, that is going to be our particular topic for discussion. So in this episode, I want to talk about why you should start to plan now. You want to be starting now because you want to prime the pump for 2021, for the upcoming year. You want to prime your mind to get it going. If you're like most people or like me in the past, I would be looking at this time of the year going, oh my God, I didn't reach my goals. If it's this year, you're probably saying COVID got the best of me. And I don't find that helpful. I don't find it helpful looking at what we lost or what we didn't do as much as what we can do, knowing what we know now. So there are things that I would be thinking about. There are specific questions I'd be asking myself now in efforts to be ready later. In other words, in the coming months. So we're going to be talking about those throughout the entire month. So let's jump into some of those questions. So one of the first things I'd be doing right now in the beginning of the month, right before the end of the year, is asking myself two questions. Question number one is, why do I do what I do? I use this time of the year to reflect on the difference that I want to make or the difference that I do make. In fact, if you watched our last episode, it was a little emotional where I shared with you my Thanksgiving, how thankful I am about what's going on in my life, what's going on in my friends and family's lives. I have been very, very, very blessed. I have so much to share in the months to come as to what's been going on with all the things that we've been doing. But you'll see in that episode that I'm just very thankful and I'm very emotional because of all the blessings that I have. And so one of the ways that I prime the pump, prime my mind for the coming year now is to ask myself, why do I do what I do? What difference do I want to make? So let me ask you that question and feel comment below. Why do you do what you do as a realtor? Why do you do what you do as a property manager? Why do you do what you do as a financial planner, a mortgage person, a home inspector, an appraiser? Why do you do what you do? Other than make money and to have a job, what is your purpose and passion behind your profession? These are the kind of questions I'm asking myself. So I'll use myself as an example since you're not here, right here in my studio. So why do I do what I do? A lot of people who know my story is a story about my dad who passed away of a heart attack. He passed away of a heart attack when he was age 62. We owned a restaurant as a family, and when he died, the restaurant died. And that really made a big impact on me in 1996 when that happened. And I believe that people are dying in their business every day from the stresses and strain that we go through as business owners, managers, team members. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want anybody to let their job or their business run them. I'd rather they run their business. That's one of my passions. In fact, my tagline is, we help you build a better business so you can build a better life, go from micro to millions while having a life. And so my purpose is to help people make running a business, growing a business, managing a business easier. But in the process of doing that is to have a life in the process. So often people wait till retirement to start thinking about what they're going to do for fun and enjoying. Whereas what I would be doing, thinking about now, what can I do every quarter to celebrate my successes? So again, in the comments below, or message me if you will, some of the questions I'd be asking right now, and I have them, and I can get those to you if you want, is again, why do you do what you do? What do you want to be known for? Like going into 2021, going into the next year, what do you want to be known for? What difference do you want to make? How do you want to change the lives of people that you work with? I'm working with a property management company here in Florida, and we're working on the strategic plan. And the process takes about 2 to 3 months, surveying their team, interviewing their team. And the difference that they want to make is they want to elevate and educate not only their owners, their residents, but also their team members. I think that is amazing that their purpose and passion behind their profession is to educate and elevate the people that come in contact with their company. That's amazing versus we're here to make a profit, we're here to make money, which is nothing wrong with that. But that can only get you so far in that it can only keep you so energized, if you will. So again, what I'm doing this time of the year, this time of the month, right before the upcoming year, is I'm priming my mind for my purpose and passion for the future. What difference do you want to make in the people that will come in contact with your company? Whether you own the company, manage a company, work with the company, that's a great question to ask. The second thing that I'm doing this time of the year is, again, I'm visualizing, fantasizing, whatever you want to call it, is the second question I'm asking myself is, where do I want to be beyond the business? What are my dreams and aspirations? I've counseled and coached many clients over the years. And when I ask them, what do they want to do beyond the business? They usually don't know because they're so caught up in the business. So I asked the question, if you had $2 to $10 million, your business is running itself, your debt and everything else was handled, what would you do for fun? And again, a lot of times the answer is, I don't know, Jim. My business is running me versus me running it. So one of the things I want to reflect on is, if I had a mature business, if I had enough time and I had enough money and education and life's issues were not a problem, what would I be doing for fun? What would you be doing for fun? When I dig deeper into the mind's eyes of the people that I work with, a lot of times the number one answer is I would travel. Then I would ask, where would you want to travel to? And most people would say anywhere, Jim, right now, anywhere. Again, putting COVID aside. But I think we stop dreaming. I think we stop having aspirations at some part of our adult life or our business life that gets caught up in the day-to-day issues and challenges and stresses and strains. And so if it were me and I'm looking to next year, I forget the past, forget what happened, and look to the future and say, okay, what do I want to be different in 2021? What do I want to be different in my life and in my business? And what do I want to do for fun? What do I want to do for fun? So again, traveling comes to the number one answer for a lot of people. Another thing is probably give back to the charity or to a community or to a nonprofit. Spend time with their family or do things with their family, or do things outside, outdoor activities and things like that. So if it were me and I were you, for the month of December, in preparing a strategic plan, which, by the way, we'll be doing a piece of the puzzle each week for the entire month of December. So you'll need to tune into the future episodes as we build this plan together. So the first part of the plan, priming your mind, is to start asking yourself, why do you do what you do, your purpose and passion, and asking those questions. Why do you do what you do? What difference do you want to make? What do you want to be known for? Then ask yourself, where do you want to be beyond the business? What do you want to be doing for fun? If you had time, money, and no issues, what would you do? And a lot of times people will say, travel, give back, take time for myself. So for me, lack of a better term, this is what I'm dreaming about, fantasizing about, thinking about in the month of December, to prime myself to get pumped before the year begins. Let me say that again. I am priming myself to get pumped for the coming year now. I don't want to wait till Christmas or Hanukkah, end of the month. It's too late then to prime that pump. I'm pumping myself up right now. I'm pumping myself because I can't wait till 2021, because we're going to hit some major milestones. We have some great things that we're launching. In fact, I have something to share with you at the end of this episode today. So please stay tuned for the rest of that. So what are some of the questions you can ask around the where question? So I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget them. Where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now? So that's a good question to ask yourself now. Where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now? If your business is running itself and you had enough time, money, and education were not an issue, what would you be doing? What would you be doing for fun? Write that down, comment below. And what are some of your dreams and aspirations you used to have and even still have? And write that down. See, this is the priming of the pump, getting ready for the year to come now. I find for myself, no matter what happened in my life, if I can remind myself my purpose and passion and where I want to be, my purpose and passion and where I want to be, I start to just be free. And I can't wait till the next day, the next month, the next, whatever I'm working on. So if it were me and I were you, I would take this time to reflect on these two questions after this episode, where you're asking yourself the why questions and the where questions. And if you want those, please email me or message me, if you will. If you want some of those, you can also go to our online university. Go to our website at jimromanonline.com, click on the programs page, and that'll take you over to our university, where you can start with Start Here. Start Here is a program we put together, no charge, that will give you tools like this as part of the START program. And part of that is the 5 drivers. So if you noticed this from previous episode, we're asking the why and the where. So it's part of the 5 drivers process. It's the beginning of a strategic plan. Next week, we're going to be talking about what does your business need to do to make all that happen. But I do have one last thing I'm going to ask you to do, if you don't mind, in efforts to prime the pump for the coming year. The question I would want you to do is, after you've asked the why and the where, start to write down where you want to be, your dreams and aspirations, and make a list of them. And then put the math to that list. I want to share a story with one of our certified business coaches and I were talking just the other day, Maureen. And Maureen said, I really miss your life goals workshop, because that really made a big difference. In fact, I'm doing this episode in honor of her today, because she's like, when I really got hold of my life goals, my where I wanted to be, she said it was a game changer. To this day, we're talking 10 years later, it's a game changer. She goes, I don't know if you remember that, but when we put the math to the events and ideas that I wanted, it was a game changer. And I do remember that. She doesn't know this. I should have told this, but I tell the story regularly, and I'll tell you the story. Maureen was in our life goals class many years ago. And we would ask her and everybody else in the program, like I am now, what are your life goals? And she, if I remember correctly, one of the things that she wanted to do is, pay down debt. Number 2 was to make sure she had enough inventory in her business back then. But then when you get past the business side of it and then go to the life side of it, she said, well, one of the things I want to do is get in an RV and drive across the country with my family and experience that. The second thing I want to do is I want to go to Disney. And the third, I want a house in the mountains. So we put the math to that. What does it cost to get an RV? What does it cost to go across the country? What does it cost to do the gas? What does it cost to take a family to Disney? What does it cost for a mountain house? What does it cost to be able to maintain that mountain house, to include her current household expenses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we wrote that out. And then we figured out, well, how much is her average sale that she sells in her store at that time? And we wrote that number down. We took the revenue goal, total revenue, which she needed to get to be able to have the cash flow to do that, divided by her average sale. She needed at that time 8 more sales, 8 more deals to have the cash flow, to have that life flow. And if I remember correctly, she was just like, what? 8? That's it? And then I divided it by 4.2 to 4.3 weeks in a month. I said, you only need 2 deals a week to have the cash flow, to have your life flow. She's like, oh my God, that's it? And I said, is that possible? And she's like, that's real easy. Oh my God. And all of a sudden, she came to life. And I think if you really reflect on your purpose and passion, your why, and you write down where you want to be and put the math to it, it makes a big difference for your mindset. And it will prime your mind for the year to come. I'm happy to say that she went on to not only hitting her numbers and having the cash flow, she went on to having a micro to millions dollar business and a life to go with it. Now she works around the country as a certified business coaching, putting on Bible studies at churches for business owners. It's amazing where she's come. She's written several books. I highly recommend you check those out. I'll have Dawn post those books below. how to make God number one in your business and making yourself a go-to business. This is the second book that she wrote. And then when her Bible study for businesses come out, the full-blown version, I will share that with you as well. So hopefully in today's episode, you can see now why working on your plans, in this case, a strategic plan now, will make the biggest difference later. So I'm asking myself last week and this week, right through Thanksgiving, why do I do what I do and where do I want to be? And if I'm not where I want to be, well, guess what? Let's put the math to make that happen. And I did the math. I'm super excited about that as well because we're this close, this close. So that concludes another episode of our show today. But if you have comments, questions, or clarifications, please comment below, message me up above, but also follow me on social media online at Jim Roman Online. You can find me on all the social medias to include TikTok. And my sign is at Jim Roman Online, Jim Roman Online, and jimromanonline.com is my website. If you found value, please remember to like, share, and follow. And then finally, I have a gift for you, a special deal on our strategic planning program. So we have an online walk you through self-guided program called the Strategic Map. You can get the complete guide online, and you can use this code MAPS now discount 10%, and you can get 10% off of that program. And that will give you the worksheets that we're talking about, as well as the upcoming episodes that we'll do week after week after week. So as always, I want to thank you. I always say it's not about what you know, it's what you implement. So please, I encourage you to write down the answers to these questions. If you need those questions, again, go to our website, click on the Start Here program, you'll get them there. Check out our online university and things like that. As always, the more you know, the more we grow.